Welcome to Attican Plays Workers and Resources, Soviet Republic. All right, hi, this is Attican and welcome to Series 4, Episode 44 of Workers and Resources, Soviet Republic. I spent a long time this morning staring at this game and going through the Republic and looking at this and that and the other and trying to decide what to cover next. And I just decided to just jump in here and start. So first of all, let me catch you up. Let's go over to our new area. Let's see, is that, yeah, there it is, right? I got turned around where I can recognize it. Here we go. Yeah, here we go. So this is the new area that we set up to support this production line. And our production line's been making these SKD 706 large trucks, the covered haul trucks. And I think I just exported some just because I wanted to see how it registered. Let's go back a little ways. And I tell you how I think let's look at this year. I think it doesn't register. I think that's something they need to fix because I thought I had done some exports of those trucks earlier and I couldn't find them. I went back like 3 years and now I'm going back through this whole year all the way back to January, and I just now sent the train over to Maurice and sold off like 9 trucks just so it would pop up and I could find it and see if it shows like trucks or vehicles or what it shows, and it doesn't show anything. So they need to fix that. I'm hoping we got the credit for the money. I think we did. And I've actually Antiquity Car asked me, well, you know, you keep saying you should build another depot, put it in a more convenient spot. What's keeping you? And I said, well, inertia. So I decided to overcome inertia. I put a depot right here. And it was so easy because if you think about this area right here, it's like a big circle. And all you have to do if you're going to hook into a circle is have a way to get off the circle and a way to get onto the circle. And that's all it took to give us a nice convenient depot. And here's the train that used to be carrying the trucks. But I'm going to have it rest for a while, and because I want it out of the way, because I want to keep making the trucks down here in our production line, and because we can use them all over the place, because I've got trucks that we've produced here hauling goods all over. And let me just quickly catch you up on some of the things I've done. Another Antiquity Car comment that I thought was excellent was that the need for fabric over here is small. This fabric factory can outproduce the clothing because we know we need one fabric for 2 clothing really is a good ratio. And so the fabric is outstripping the clothing. So let's take some excess fabric. I've got one of the trucks that we created assigned to grab fabric over here and dump it off here. I've also got our electrical components. We're starting to make them, even though I'm very frustrated by how many people we're getting in these factories. But we are making them, shipping them over here, and I've got trucks set up now, that again, trucks that we made, to go get those. And so you can see right here, we've got, here's the fabric truck, and then I've got, I actually started out with 4 of the electronic components. They're a little bit of overkill. I think I'm going to have this one change its line. I'm going to have this one, instead of going there, I'm going to have it go... Oh, I can't. I have to build a road. Let me give it a road. I'm going to have it just export the stuff. Why not? Let's give it a quick road connection, and then I'm going to have one of those trucks export because we just don't use it that fast. Now, the big thing here, if you can supply steel, you're pretty golden. See, these are the ones that have been made. Here's the ones that are doing the drop-offs over here. So let's take one of these guys, preferably a full one, and we're going to change his line and say, why don't you go over there and unload electrical components. Just sell the silly things. They're worth a lot of money. and drop this line from your route. And we should be able to see him leave the, yeah. And see, I've got too many trucks going over there anyway. So he's going to leave the production line and run over here to Maurice and make us like 28,000 rubles for some electronic components or electrical components. I'm not sure which one it should be, and I'm not sure the developers are either. So, all right. So now we've got some exports going there. That's fine. And the only thing we've got left to make are electronics. And I thought about, and I'm saying this out loud to you because I really want because I want to figure out what I want to do next. Now, this train right here has mechanical components. It started with 306 tons of mechanical components, and it's just going to sit here and just keep dumping mechanical components until this guy drains them all. And then it will go back and get another full load and do it again. And we're making enough mechanical components now that I've actually got another train. And, I can't resist making another train. But I've got a mechanical components train over here. Look at this. That's just doing exports. So it's literally just picking up mechanical components and exporting. And then the other train, the original mechanical components, is going to this production line and then coming back for more. So these two can queue up in here. It's not a problem. They won't cause any problems for the rest of our nice circle here because our other trains will come in before them and exit before them. So we're all cool there. Would love to have more people, look at this, showing up here. So I've actually gone through and done a bunch of immigration. Let's see, last month, this month. No, where is it? I know I did it. Here we go. There's a fair amount. Oh, and I did a lot of third world immigrants too, but because we have such a good education and healthcare system now. So I'm sick of these flats that are mostly empty. And the reason they're empty is because we've been doing the rob Peter to pay Paul method, where we are building new flats and using the get citizens from existing flats option. And it's a great way to take care of this problem, the 21 plus. And look at our population now. We're already at 52,000. Our goal was 50, so I think we're going to hit that goal. But you'll notice our births are definitely outstripping our deaths and escapes. So even if I wasn't doing any immigration, we would be growing nicely. So we're in great shape. We're starting to get fairly big. And I think we're going to get bigger if we keep doing it. Again, I keep saying if I keep playing this. The only reason I'm saying that is because there's other things going to come out that are going to pull me away. I know that's coming. And secondly, there's only so much you can do here. I'm trying to show you different ways to play the game, different setups that you can use, give you some ideas for how to keep your trains in line and stuff like that. Then you can go play the game however you want to. And one of the beauties of the game is it's just so rich. There's so many things you can do, so many approaches you can take, so many, you can play whack-a-mole and solve problems for hours and hours and hours. So have at it, play the game however you want to. But I'm not a big city builder lover. I don't want to just sit here and build cities and say, oh, I got my population 100,000. Well, who cares? But if you do, go for it. Go build yourself a giant population. So what I think I want to do, I want to take this area here that's really wasted right now. It's just, we build it, we use construction management, hooray for us, but it didn't do anything. I want to take this area and take these trains that we have that are right now kind of doing some exports, and I want to repurpose them to an extent. I want to start building up a construction area where we can have a major project to build like a major city, right? So what I'm thinking is we're going to go up here to one of my favorite areas, which is Karadabog and Kaizina. I think I hit the right spot on this thing. Yeah, here we go. Karadabog and Kaizina. Now, Karadabog is what we've just hooked into to set up our electrical components down here. Oh, and by the way, I did build a farm, another farm, and this farm's doing great. And it's created a problem, kind of our whack-a-mole approach. It has created a problem that I think I'd like to address down here. I'll get to that in a minute. But the problem it's created is, check this out. It's making a lot of crops, and I have trains running up here to the chemical plants, so they are full of crops. They have all the crops they can use, and more in the trucks waiting to offload. Might even have to put a silo up here to carry it all. In fact, I think the first thing I will do. Let's do that. Let's do that first to make sure that we've got this covered. Let's put in a grain storage right here in a nice convenient spot. And, oh man, it'd be nice if we could hook it into, it would fit right, oh man, let's see here. I'm not going to tear all this down just to get it in there, but if we could get a grain storage, no, too much trouble. All right, we're going to put a grain storage. Is it going to have its own? I don't even think I'm going to bother with another road cargo. I think I'm just going to have a grain storage right here in a nice convenient spot. And I'll go ahead and auto build. We are going to get back into construction management though, I think later. As I said, I want to start a big project. So we're going to set up a grain storage right here. And what we're going to do here is take these trucks that are hauling grain now, and let's see, it's only 2 of them. All right, one of them is going to, instead of coming here, it's going to go here and unload all its grain. So eliminate that station. And then the other one, instead of going down there to the crop field, it's going to go right there to that grain storage and load completely. And then go over here and unload completely. And don't go down there to the bottom anymore. All right. And then, got to watch this though, because, man, I want to have a truck going to each of those, and then maybe a couple trucks that come up here. And without having the road cargo, man, sorry. I think trying to do this without a road cargo station is a mistake. I really do. I think I made a mistake and I got to fix it. Man, I may even have to destroy something to fix it. Yep, I'm going to have to destroy this. I want to have at least 4 trucks. I do not want to set up a situation where they get in each other's way. All right, so let's start with road cargo station. And if we put that in, then all the problems go away. We'll have enough. We can run 4 what I'm seeing is 4 trucks easily like this. Set them up like this. Like so. Okay, now this guy who got his thing torn up, I want him to go here and here. And I assume this is 6. No, this is 9. Oh, shoot. This one's 6. I want him to go from 9 to 6. So we're going to eliminate that one. You're going to go to 9 and load crops. And you're going to go to 6 and unload till you're completely empty. And then you're just going to do it again. So he will shuttle crops from the silo over to this chemical plant. That's his job. That's this one. And then this one, his job will be to go, that's chemicals. He doesn't have a job. There's 2 of them here. Let's see. That's 9 to 6. That's a good one. And this one is chemicals. So I need a truck. Well, let's see what else we've got here first. Sorry. There's 2 here. What are they doing? Crops, probably, and chemicals. No, crops and crops. All right, so this one, both of these are going down to pick up crops. So I'd like to I'll just modify both of them. So I'll make these 2 actually go here to drop off. So this Somhaska is the farm. So load at the farm, drop off here at the silo. So 9 is the silo. Okay. So that's that guy. And then this guy, I want him to do the same thing. I want him to actually go here instead of here. And let's see what he does. Now he should go all the way down to the farm. Should turn right and go down here. Yeah, okay, good. And all we need is one more truck, and we can get that over here at our nice production facility. We'll take one of these trucks, and to get it out of there, we have to tell it to go to this depot. And we can give it a line and tell it to go from here to here. And we want you to load crops at 9 and then go over to 5 and unload. And start. And did he go? Yep, good. So there, we're there. We just took one of our newly created trucks and put him to work hauling crops from here over to here. So that'll get crops to both of them. We'll have a couple of trucks bringing crops up here. This one should be one of them right now. That a way to go. We should see some crops ending up in here. Perfect. All right, so now we can start offloading some of this production up here, and eventually it'll fill that up, so it'll really take care of this for a while. But we need to do it faster, because what's happening here is look at all these fields. Look at all these fields that are ready to be harvested. Nobody's going out to harvest them because there's no place to put the harvest. So we need to empty that puppy out faster. Well, what I'm going to do, what I'd like to do here is now, Modak put in a comment when we were talking about localized and limited and maximized and collectivized and all that stuff. Modak said, well, you know, it seems like alcohol would be a great thing to maximize because the consumption is so low. Now, we could change that, of course. We could have our radio station do a lot of ads for our great vodka and turn all these people into drunks. But instead, what we're going to do is keep them nice and sober. And we're going to take advantage of their sobriety by doing what I tried to do in Series 3. If you remember, Series 3, my original intent was to start with 4 distilleries and, you know, use that as the basis for our economy rather than starting with the usual refinery. And it got killed, of course, by the pollution. It also got killed by the fact that I did a poor job starting and didn't have enough people to work here, so we weren't really making any money anyway. And we were just desperately hanging on, and we kept trying to react and get rid of imports, which is not the best way to build your early economy, I can tell you, but that's okay. That's what probably most people do, and they'll just keep right on doing it. Doesn't matter what I say, but that's okay. That's okay. So what I want to do here is if the terrain will allow, I want to build a nice road up through here. Looks like there's a piece right here that hasn't been finished. It's probably keeping that that field from being assigned to a farm. There we go. That's better. All right. Keep that technique in mind for later on when we start dealing with construction management again. All right, so I'm going to give them a better road. Doesn't have to be a great road, though. At least not yet. What is stopping it? And Rever did a very interesting study about trucks And one of his conclusions was that the reason that you want, one of the big reasons you want to upgrade your roads, like to run asphalt roads versus gravel, like I'm doing here, is that is for fuel economy. That you just basically burn less fuel because you go a longer distance on the same amount of fuel. So the kind of slightly weird way that the game is set up, it does the economy based on, you know, a time. It's almost like time traveled rather than distance traveled or elevation traveled or anything like that. I see another little bit that's missing right here. Okay, that's probably cost these guys. Yeah, they haven't been worked either. All right, make sure there aren't any other missing bits of road. All right, so what we want to do here, I think, is start hauling. Boy, oh boy. Let's take the same approach. Let's put a little, this is a bridge, by the way. It's just a little, I'm going to go ahead and finish it. It's just a little wooden bridge to get over that piece of track, and I'll explain all this in a minute and walk through it. But there's going to be a warehouse right here. Trains are going to come in like this and load, and they'll be sticking out here. And I wanted the road traffic to be consistent because we're going to actually be loading into here, and you'll see in a minute. I'll go through that in a minute. But for right now, what I want, and I'm going to take a chance on fire. I'm just going to build it without protection right now. I want to be able to load to this. So I want to have a road cargo station. Ooh. Got auto build on, that's bad. Right here, and I want to have a silo. Right here. Okay, and what I want now, I want about 4 more of our trucks. I think let's get 4 more of our trucks we're making. And let's send them over here to this depot. I wish it was more consistent. I'm hitting escape to back out. I wish it would consistently do it one way or another so I could tell when I hit escape what's going to close. It'd be a lot easier to deal with. 3 and 4. That should get 4 trucks out of there. 1, 2, 3. I only see 3. There we go. All right, and what we're going to do with these guys is tell them, I'm going to let them get to the depot first. I think their routes will be better. All right, that first guy here. What we want to tell this truck to do now is go here just once. Sorry, I'm getting double clicks here for some reason. And then go here. Just once. What the? All right. Load up on crops at the farm. and then go down here and unload crops. Start and copy. And give those same orders to these other three. There we go. So now we can start hauling crops down here to our new area. And now let's just talk about that area. All right, so first of all, I want to have 4 distilleries. And I've got them connected to a warehouse. So this warehouse is going to store crops and alcohol. And crops, that's the only input the distilleries need. So we're going to have a short line that runs from here to here to bring crops out of this into this warehouse. And then they will be used up by the 4 distilleries. The distilleries will put their alcohol into the warehouse, and we're going to have a train that picks up the alcohol and exports it. Now, you could say, well, you could just do trucks to do the export. It's such a short haul. But I find trucks, especially when it's a small station like this with only one platform, they really pile up behind each other, and it's just much easier to me to run a train. And we've got that engine that's doing nothing over there in our depot. We can use it if we want to. Or we'll buy another one. We'll see. We'll see. All right, so, and I do wish you could use your assembly line to make it locomotives. That would be that would be sweet. All right, so so how's this going to work? Oh, like I just explained it right there. 4 distilleries, they grab crops, they give out the alcohol, we export the alcohol. Now what's this right here? This is our electronics assembly hall. So this is kind of the last thing we need to be able to claim that we're creating everything the game can allow us to create. So what we're going to do here is build electronics, and we're going to have it connected to a warehouse here that's going to hold the inputs that it needs. So if we look at an electronic assembly hall, whoops, it needs electrical components or electro components, plastics, and mechanical components. So sure enough, we're going to take our trains that are delivering those things, have them pop in here at this cargo station and load this warehouse with those 3 things. And then we're going to have this also put its output into this warehouse. And then we'll have a train that gathers up the output, the electronics, and exports them. And in fact, probably what we'll do, given the fact that they're all kind of the same thing, they all run in box cars and they all run out of the warehouse, each of the trains that come in here and deliver will have a load command to grab electronics and export them. And what we can look at later, of course, is distributing. In fact, we may look at it sooner rather than later, but we'll see. Distributing the electronics to the rest of our republic. Yes, I really do want to be a monarch. I keep saying kingdom. Now, if we're going to do this, how are we going to get these people here? Here's the other thing I'm looking at. The big city I think I want to build up in Kaizina and Karadabag is going to be one of those 30% cities where everything, you walk to work and you ride to your shopping. And so we'll have a central shopping area and a bunch of spokes off of that central area that are the housing for the factories. And the factories will sit kind of on the outside of that. So you'll have like, here, let me go up here and point. I can at least point for you. All right, so imagine if we had a center city right here. Then we had some more housing, maybe on a bus line that goes downtown. And then outside of that, a food factory. And then some more housing, and outside that, clothing. Or actually, in fact, clothing, we've got a big clothing industry going. We'll probably bring clothing in here and load it somewhere and have it shipped off to however many stores we have along here. Food we'll probably create locally as sort of a just enough kind of a model. Alcohol, we're about to make a whole bunch of alcohol, so we'll have this alcohol here before he does his export, he'll run up here and give this area some alcohol. And then he'll go probably back to Car de Bog and export. Then he'll go back and do it again. So that'll be alcohol, food, clothing. We can bring in clothing because we've got plenty of clothing production. Electronics, we can bring electronics from down here actually. In fact, our train will first gather up the electronics, bring them up here for distribution, then export. And we'll have a truck pick up electronics down here at the area where we're doing our building, which is actually, I think it's over here. Yeah, it'll truck electronics over to wherever we put a city down in this area. I had originally thought about doing it as we've got this area here is on the just enough model, but I don't think it's close enough. I mean, we could. Yeah, we could, shoot. I don't know how far you can push this going downtown bit. I think that if we tried to say, all right, you people live here, go down here to work, and go up here to downtown, no, up here to downtown, I think we're going to be pushing the envelope, and it's also going to make them very inefficient because they're going to be spending all their time in travel, and that wastes time that they could be working. So, and I don't want the 30% solution here. I want these to be maximized. I want to try to shoot for 80% on these guys right here. So I'm thinking there's going to be a new city that goes in down here. Probably more farms, another big farm down here, maybe even another one up here, because we're going to need a lot of crops for 4 alcohol plants that are really busy, or what we hope are highly staffed alcohol plants. So, yep. City here. I think buses to go to work. And we'll see if we can't build the city so that you can walk to your shopping, even if we build a lot of flats. So let's see how far away we need to get this. Closest, okay, that's 200. We need to be out about here. Okay, we don't want to build our city much closer than that, but that is not too far for a good fast bus to run. We don't need to have a train line going over there. So let's put in some bus stops and think about how would you walk? What can you walk to with this? It looks like we're going to need 2 bus stops, one on this side for these 3 and one on this side for these 2. I think that's going to be the answer. So let's see what we can come up with. I'll tell you one thing I'm learning. Once you discover the bus stop, you won't go back to a bus station. The bus stop is so much smaller and easier to fit in where you need it, and da-da-da-da-da. Oh, man. I kind of wish I'd planned for this originally. Now, I can move this. You know, I hate to delete the track, but I could. Let's try first. Let's see if we can't delete the roads. See if we can clear up enough space to put in a bus stop. I think we can. Whoa, whoa, whoa. You know what? I'm gonna have to go. I want to upgrade these roads and make them all asphalt down here, and I'm gonna want to have auto build on for that to avoid having to do this. Oh, and down here we want to see if we can get a bus stop in this area. Huh, I think we can. Okay, now let's go back to auto build. Go to auto build and improve these roads. And we'll let that run till daylight, and then we'll get back to work. Here comes one of our little trucks down. Let's take a ride. He's going 60, and he's going to hit asphalt. There he goes. There he goes a little faster. 62, so it doesn't really make a lot of difference, does it? With these trucks. Okay, it's daylight. Let's see here. I think our city can actually be a little closer. I don't think we need 500. I think we can go as close as here. Let's see. 250. Yeah, I would think right in there is. Let's go a little more than that. We'll go there. Okay, so now we need a city to support, to give us a basic downtown with everything we need, plus support all these industries, plus we want to have it, I think we want to have this one. Let's not use our just enough or barely enough approach. Let's use, let's ship this stuff in. We can definitely ship in clothing. We've got that. We can grow grit alcohol over here. And you know what we can do? We can even get our food. You know, why not? We'll get our food from up here, from the barely enough food. And we can get our electronics, alcohol, clothes. And then we can ship in the meat. We've got a good, healthy meat industry too. So, all right, so we just need to make sure we have a good shipping setup somewhere that we can set it up and then have some trucks come in. So we want to build a downtown. All right. Let's go look at it. So what do we want? We want alcohol, 4 of them, electronics 1. We want our alcohol to run at, we're going to try for 80%, even though we know that's very hard to get. You can see the ridiculous amount of money we could make if we do that. And by the way, if I zero out the electronics, alcohol itself, if we could actually run it at 80% and keep up that many crops, which we can't, but we can try. That's a lot of money. We can make a ton of profit off of this little maximized alcohol. Plus, we can use this alcohol, ship it to any other builds we do going down the road. So this will give us enough alcohol to truly give everybody enough, plus make a lot of money on exports, because we've been doing that pretty well up to now with that one alcohol plant up there in Virov. And then we've got our our barely enough approaches in a couple other places. So yeah, so 4 of these, 1 of these, we're going to need a cinema, fire station, hospital. The kindergartens we'll figure out in a minute. Playgrounds, pub, we'll need 1 pub. Schools we'll figure out in a minute. Shopping center, yes. And then, now, how far do we push it for university? We could try that. We could just see if we could push university, have a train line that goes up to Bolniji and drops off for people who want to go to university. Let's try that just to find out if it works or not. And the good news is it doesn't matter if we get a lot of, if it works or not, honestly. And if it doesn't work, we'll just move them down. So if you look at this, we only need 9 flats to do this whole thing. It's not that much. Now, I have noticed that we're not getting the kind of turnout I would like. So I think what I'm going to do is change my spreadsheet. Notice it's working off of total workers. Total workers is this guy right here. I want it to work off of this guy right here. I'm hoping that's called total population, but I'm not sure if it's called anything. Planner B12. Why, it is. All right, so we're going to change the number of flats and say we want you to work off of total population. So forgive me, you're going to get to see a little Google Sheets stuff here. You can skip it if you want to. Okay, and then this guy here has to do the same thing. It has to work off of total population. So where we would build 9 if we were just looking at the number of workers, if we account for the growth, then we're looking at 17. We could call it 16. That's 4 little modules. Let's do 4 modules of 4, and that way we'll do 4 kindergarten, 4 playgrounds, and a couple of schools, and have, oh no, wait, that says 19 flats. Doesn't say 16. All right, that's okay. We're going to do 16 flats because that's kind of in between the 9 and the 19. Let's do 16 flats to support this and see how that goes, because we're I'm still working through how to, what's the right number. And I did notice that in my earlier playthroughs, when I was using the bigger number, the total population, we were doing better in terms of highly efficient factories. But there could be so many factors involved in that, it's really hard to make a definitive statement. But anyway, all right, 16 flats. 16 flats plus our whole downtown. How are we going to do that? Let's build them, like I said, in groups of 4. In fact, no, I want the downtown in the middle. Let's put... Oh, and I did want to say, Zachariah, you've been after me a couple of times to put in the street lights because you think it's more realistic. So I just wanted to point out to you that right here in Sargrad, this is the little community that supports our production line. I put in street lights in your honor, and this is called Zachariah Street. So if you walk on Zachariah Street, you're walking on a nicer street than most of the Republic, because Zachariah Street has sidewalks and street lamps. Very, very nice. Very nice. And I will put them other places as I get a better handle on electricity and power, which I don't have right now. All right, so let's go back to our thing here. Let's go flats. What does this one look like? It looks like just like the other one. 127. Those aren't bad. Could we do something maybe a little different? I am getting sick of those flats. 127. 28. Ugh, gross. No, you know what? I know what we'll do. We'll do the 189 because they're really nice. All right. All right. 4 groups of 4. By the way, I think some of you may have misinterpreted me when I said I don't like those 3 road connections. I know I can delete one. That's, here. There, I'll delete 2 of them. What I don't like is the fact that I have to account for the 3 of them when I'm building it. Because it bumps into the infrastructure. It limits how closely you can put these together, and I like tight builds, in case you haven't noticed. 2, 3, 4. All right, and then off of this we want. Oh, and Johnny Hughes verified that you can indeed use your path connections for fire protection for schools and nurseries. So that means that I don't really have to have a road over here. I'm just going to flatten this out a little bit, basing off that, and put in, for this unit, a kindergarten and a school and a playground. So a school, and a kindergarten, and a playground, let's see if we can get a path down through there. Beautiful. That's number 1. I think I'm seeing maybe the, let's see, I wonder if we could do 2, a second one up like this, and then have our town right down here, the shopping center and stuff, and have that walkable. It looks like it should have no problem walking there. Let's just find out. All right, let's stop right here. It's getting a little long. We'll continue with building up the city to support our alcohol and electronics in episode 45. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it'll help you become a better player, and I hope you'll join us for our next Workers and Resources Soviet Republic video. Thank you.